It is time for us to stand with credible voices, the people that you have grown to trust, and be unashamed in speaking out for truth. Lara Logan is one of those voices that we need to listen to. If you're looking for, well, who will tell me the truth? I truly believe in Lara Logan. She was the Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent for 60 Minutes. I mean, well, there was a time that, not just anybody got on a 60 Minutes, but now I think those days are over. But she worked for CBS News for years. She is a buttoned-up journalist with wide contacts, and she has been investigating Antifa and the riots for a while. And she knows the background of all of these organizations, and she's here to tell us what she thinks is really going on. Hello, Lara. How are you?
Hey, Glenn. I'm good, thank you. How are you? Well, I don't know about good. I'm a little concerned right now.
Yeah. I know that you're being taken down by Media Matters now, saying that you're lying. Yeah, they're trying. Yeah. But they're saying that you are lying about Antifa being involved in this. So take us through this story and the facts that you have on Antifa.
It's kind of extraordinary that anybody in this country right now is defending a very violent terrorist organization, right? A network of organizations, because that's what these anarchist groups really represent. And you don't have to take my word for that. I mean, A, look at what's happening on the streets, and B, more importantly, look at their history of doing this, and then C, just go and see what they're saying about it, right? I mean, because they're not hiding it, which is, in a way, even more concerning, because for those of us who've followed this for a while and know that this is what they're doing, and that this is what their agenda is, that is what's always been troubling, is the way that so many people in the media and in the political establishment have given them cover to operate, including law enforcement, by the way, and one administration after the other. This is not a Democrat, Republican, left, right, blue, red thing. These are extremists, and you see a lot of parallels between extremists on the left and the right. They're almost, with one or two small differences, they pretty much operate the same way exactly. I mean, there's no difference between what Antifa is doing and the brown shirts of Nazi Germany or the black shirts of Mussolini. So they've perpetuated this extraordinarily successful deception operation where they have people convinced that they're the anti-fascists. That's what the name means, right? But they're not at all. They are extreme fascists who their own literature shows that the world that they want is one where there are no laws, and in which there are no borders, no prisons. But it's very interesting, of course, because how do you have all of that but still actually have some form of order? Well, somebody has to enforce it, right? So this is where the ideology kind of breaks down, because there will be people enforcing it. Let me see who they are going to be. Wow, their militant networks will enforce it. So
I mean, people need to understand.
Abolitionist movement, Glenn. Go at the 10 points. You know what has to happen for them to get to point number 10? In their words, liberation begins where America dies. And that's what they're looking for. So people defending that are really showing themselves for who they are, right? I mean, they targeted you. They've come after me. How many others? There's so many others. And they do it with their own deception operation. They're pretending that they care about good journalism. They don't. They care about silencing, intimidating, destroying, annihilating, and getting us all to self-censor so that we don't cover any of the subjects they don't want us talking about.
Lara, let me take you to a bigger picture than just Antifa. And that is, I said probably 15 years ago that socialists, communists, radicals, anarchists, Islamists would all work together. Not that they were coordinating, but they would all see the opportunity and they would all work for the same goal, and that's destruction of capitalism and destruction of the Western world. I don't think there's any doubt in your mind that that's what's happening right now, correct?
It's really interesting because a few years ago, I probably would not have agreed with you on that. I would have agreed in principle that it's possible for people with the same intent and the same goals to align. But I didn't really see this coming. I'm not going to take credit for that, right? I mean, I'm cynical enough to know that just look at the way the Iranians do it. They play every horse in the race and on all sides, and they've been extraordinarily successful at doing that. So it's not that I don't think it's possible, but I now see that you are absolutely correct. And you can add to that mix state actors, as they call them in the intelligence world,
Yes.
as a number of intelligence professionals have said, right? So state actors like China, the Chinese Communist Party, whose ideology appears to align. Certainly the intent aligns up right now beautifully because the Chinese government does not want Donald Trump and his administration anywhere near the Oval Office. They do not want to be shut out of the World Trade Organization and global institutions. They do not want the U.S. shutting down their vast network, surveillance network that they've infiltrated through the universities, but then from there into every kind of business, which I'm sure you've talked about on your show many times. And they're not the only ones, right? I mean, very alarmingly, I can't give away my source, but let's just say that the vice president of one of an allied country to us got in touch with me recently. And when he sends me these kind of messages, I kind of like, because this man is probably the most brilliant man I've ever met in my life. And when he's asking, about is this really happening? Because what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing from the region is that this is the end of the U.S. and it's looking like this is not going to pass. And we're wondering where that leaves us. And America is a beacon in our world. It's a beacon in the dark. And if we lose you, we've lost everything. And when I saw that, this is a country, by the way, that we have not been kind to of late. This is not a country that is immune to criticizing the United States. And this is somebody I have enormous respect for, who is extremely plugged in. When he says the region, he's talking to the region. And so they see it. They see it across on the other side of the world. What the New York Times cannot see, they see thousands of miles away.